Welcome to Lo que Ale no dijo, the space where I speak on the things I couldn't say before. I am Alexandra, a mother, dancer, immigrant, and a school counselor. This is where I bring together my life experiences, my training, and my desire to name what's been silent in our communities. This is not therapy. This is not gossip. This is where I speak from my body, from my nervous system, and from the stories that many of us carry in secret. Trigger warning. Before we begin, please take a moment to check in with yourself. This episode includes themes of sexual violence, coercion, alcohol use, and institutional failure. If you're not in the space to hear this today, please honor that. You can pause here, take a breath, and return when you feel ready. All stories shared in this episode are told with permission and modified when needed to protect the privacy of those involved. Names and identifying details have been withheld or changed. This space is built with care, not to expose, but to reflect and inform. The weight of many stories. Over the last few days, I received messages I wasn't expecting. People from the Latin dance community, some of whom I have danced with and some I barely knew, started reaching out, one after another. They told me stories of emotional manipulation, boundary crossing, and things that honestly, so many of us have just accepted as part of the scene. I carry those stories with care and with weight because being the one who speaks up and becomes, quote unquote, the face of a conversation others are afraid to have, it takes a toll. Even I've needed to step back. A friend and I agreed to pause specific conversations or discussions because we needed time to breathe, time to grieve, time to care for our own nervous systems. Still, I knew I had to record this episode because when it's not just one story, it's a pattern. Honoring boundaries. I recently spoke with one of my friends, and I know she's not ready to share her story. She said that it's embarrassing. I still don't know if I want to stay in that space. And I want to say this for anyone listening. That is valid. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to take your time. You don't have to tell your story for it to matter. As a school counselor, I remind my students all the time, you can be hurt and still feel confused. You can walk away and still miss what you had. You can freeze, and that does not mean you consented. Defining what many can say. There are a few words I want to introduce because these aren't just stories. They're dynamics, they're patterns, they're tactics. Grooming. This happens when someone builds trust slowly. They make you feel special. They compliment you. They isolate you from others. And then they test your boundaries until you don't even realize the line has been moved. Coercion. This isn't always violent or obvious. It can be subtle, It can sound like, don't ruin this opportunity. Or, if you don't trust me, you're not ready. It's pressure disguised as loyalty. It's not consent. Stockholm Syndrome, trauma bonding. This is when someone who has caused harm also becomes the person you feel depending on emotionally. Maybe they make you feel seen, they may have given you an opportunity, and maybe they protected you from someone else. So even when things turn harmful, you feel loyalty. You feel guilty. That's not your fault. That's how the brain protects itself. This is particularly important, especially now, as I know some members in the dance scene feel that I'm attacking them or ruin their journeys. But that confusion you feel, that loyalty, that discomfort, it might be trauma bond though. And it doesn't make you weak, it makes you human. And if you're still in those spaces, this podcast is not here to shame you. It's here to remind you that there are words for what you felt, and you're not alone. Anonymous survivor story. A friend who have gave me permission to share their experience anonymously. She was new to the scene. She didn't have a car. Someone she met in the community invited her out. She locked her phone in his glove box, telling her it was for safety. He kept ordering drinks. Every time she asked to leave, he bought another round. She ended up too intoxicated to make decisions. He told her he'd take her home after they stopped at his place. That night, he raped her. She woke up and threw away her clothes. She showered. The police said it was too late for a rape kit. It became her war against his. And when she tried to get him banned from events, they told her that he was just as much right to be here as you do. And that broke her. Institutional betrayal and why this podcast exists. What happened to this survivor isn't isolated. It's what we call institutional betrayal. When systems or spaces that say they will protect you choose neutrality instead, that is re-traumatizing. This podcast exists because these stories need somewhere to land. Safely. You don't have to name names to speak your truth. You don't have to have a police report to validate your trauma. You don't have to explain what survival looked like for you. You just need to know that you're not alone. This work has been heavy on my heart, and I want to be honest with you all. I will be taking a short break after this episode over the weekend to take care of my own mental health. Holding a space for these stories matter deeply to me, but I also need to rest, to breathe, and to feel. If your body froze, you survive. If you stay silent, you protected yourself. If you left quietly, that was brave. You are not broken. You're healing, and you're welcome here. This is Lo que Ale no dijo, and this episode was for you. take care of your nervous system, drink a bunch of water, and if this stirs something in you, you can reach out, DM me, email me at loquealenodijopodcast@gmail.com, or simply sit with it. You don't owe anyone your story, but if you need a witness, I'm here. Take care. Ciao, ciao.